No more cashless bail, and you burn our flag, you go to jail. Hi folks, I'm Rob Morris from Mobile Pirate Radio, and this is NPR News on a Monday. You heard right folks, President Trump has signed 2 executive orders today, and the first one is no more cashless bail. It's starting in Washington, D.C., but will catch on throughout the rest of the country, and we're hoping that Congress will codify this into law. Also, another executive order he signed, if you burn an American flag, you degrade an American flag in public, you go to jail. You go to prison, in federal prison for 1 year. Not just a month, not just 2 months, you don't get out early. You desecrate our flag, you go to prison for a year. Now look, I know there's a big argument on the First Amendment and all that. The Supreme Court said it is an expression of speech. Well, look, so be it. But if you say any kind of speech in public that could cause a riot, you scream fire in a crowded theater, that's not exactly free speech, okay? And people are burning the American flag, especially in some of the red states and all, okay, in front of Trump supporters, are going to get upset about it. And they're going to cause a riot. They're going to cause a scene. So, you know, I think it's a good thing. Let's go on with that and see if Congress can codify that into law. I don't know, it might be an uphill battle, but I like the way they're thinking. And you know, also in Florida, the Attorney General there now has every way station on the interstates in Florida is checkpoints for ICE. That's right. If you had one of them illegal license, because you got here illegally from one of these left-leaning Democratic crazy places, and you come to Florida, they're going to check you out. And if you are an illegal alien, well, guess what? Alligator Alcatraz is right down the road, I'm sure. And they'll accommodate you and get you on out of here, all right? And that way, more American truckers can find jobs, too, that know how to read English and know what street signs are. I think it's a good move. Now, also another thing that President Trump is thinking about, he looked at Pete Hegseth today in the Oval Office with all that gold. And he said, Pete, instead of calling it the Department of Justice, why don't we call it the Department of War? Instead of the Department of Defense, the Department of War. I don't know, it kind of has a ring to it. And don't be alarmed, folks. It's not like we're at war. But he's thinking, well, we always talk about being on the defense. Let's go on the offense a little bit. And I kind of like that too. So, go Trump. Go Trump. SpaceX is going to be launching test launch the spaceship tonight. 400-foot spaceship. It's going to be launching from Texas to see if it'll make it this time without blowing up over the Pacific. We can always keep our fingers crossed. I believe it's 6:30 Central Time today. You know, in hopes to get it the thing to the moon and then eventually to Mars. Wow, I just wonder if I'll be alive long enough to see that happen. Now today is election eve, and that means tomorrow is the big election, y'all. Okay, be sure to get out and vote. And if you're at work, I'm sure you can take off, go to your lunch break or whatever, before work, after work. Polls open at 7, close at 7. So be sure to get out there and do your patriotic duty and look up all these people, the candidates that are running for office of mayor. Look them up for real. Be serious about it. Be informed before you vote. It may change your mind about what you think about these candidates. Now, I will be there at the church on Cody Road, voting in District 6 from 9 to 11 to support this guy. I believe it's prime time in Mobile, and I just hope all of you get out and vote for Ball Prime. And join us tomorrow if you have a chance to come by and say hello. I'm Rob Morris for NPR News. Have a wonderful evening.